No, they can't hear us. Now you can hear
Now you
us.
can hear us.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
um, hey guys, welcome to the show. Sorry, my mic was turned off. I didn't realize it. Please let us know if you can hear us, just to be sure. But so there is no shortage of things to talk about right now. We are in some turbulent times. The inauguration just happened. The whole world is in an uproar right now. Nobody really knows what to believe. Everybody's fighting for what they believe in. And we weren't even supposed to be going live. We had a last minute cancellation for the podcast, but everything's divinely orchestrated and we're here. And we're going to cover this stuff. We're going to break down the inauguration itself and Trump's speech, which I need to run upstairs and actually grab that because I printed it out and I highlighted parts of it that I actually want to go over. And before that, Aaron has some news that he would like to share with the audience. And while you're sharing that, I'm going to run and grab that paper real
Sweet.
quick.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, just as many of you know, my mom, she now has transitioned as of yesterday morning. And I've been getting so many beautiful, amazing messages and um, all your prayers and condolences and beautiful messages have I could not thank you more and appreciate more. So I just want to say thank you all so much for your love and support and prayers through this very difficult time for me and my family. And I got emotional the other day by it. So thank you so much.
Well, I
You
mean,
guys are I don't know what I would do without you guys. So thank you.
it's understandable, man. We
Yeah,
love
me
you
too.
and
Yeah,
hang in there.
thank you.
So, um, you know, it's not an easy thing, but we understand this is a time of transition right now. We were just talking about that
Yeah.
beforehand, and it seems like there is a massive shift on the planet happening, and it
Yeah.
includes our, souls transitioning, including our pets. I lost my second dog after Christmas,
You've
and
lost both
yeah,
your dogs in the last
this yeah.
year. Since yeah,
So,
amazing.
well, your mom's here tuning in tonight. She's
She's
watching.
still with me.
Yeah.
She's still here. Yeah.
If she didn't watch the podcast before, she's watching tonight. You know she is.
Right.
So,
Right.
um,
Right. You know, death is just a transition of from the physical, but there's no separation, you know. So
absolutely. Okay, so we are actually going to bring in a surprise guest tonight. I'll let her in now. So, who watched the inauguration? I'm sure plenty of people did. I tuned in first thing in the morning and at 8 a.m.
yeah.
and started watching it. Uh,
I was busy with obviously other things, so I was not able to. Um, but I have seen a couple kind of highlight clips and some pictures and some I've seen a little bit and I saw the issues that people had with certain things that on the surface looked maybe bad on the surface. And then I saw some deeper information of what that might actually be. And then obviously, Tyler, you made your video the other day that I fully agree with what you said as
so,
well.
yeah, I sat down and watched it like it was a homework assignment. I didn't take notes, but I took mental notes and I made a lot of observations. I actually printed out the speech itself because he said some things that I perceived as comms, or there was just like we more to read between the lines. And
Mhm.
I want to break down some of that. And then I also want to get into some of the Stephen Greer disclosures and that podcast, his new podcast series, and my thoughts and opinions about that. Because it is really interesting, and I know everybody has their opinions about Greer, and we're going to give you our honest opinions about him as well once we get into that. So there's a lot to talk about. And Lily,
Hey,
welcome,
Lily.
welcome to the show, Lily.
Hey guys, thanks for inviting me on. What's up?
What's up?
What up?
So Lily, as everyone knows, has been tuning in and getting messages and, predictions. I guess you can call them predictions, but just more like impressions on what she sees going on a deeper level.
Mhm.
And, we can get into like a lot of her insights tonight as we go through some of this stuff because if anybody watched my video that I made about the actual inauguration, about Trump not putting his hand on the Bible, there's deeper meanings to all this stuff. And what we see
Yeah.
on the surface really probably doesn't matter. What was the thing you just said, literally?
Yeah. I said there's way more important things going on than how people perceive something on the surface level. Because everyone gets so caught up about how something looks on the surface without thinking even maybe there's something else going on a deeper level, and it might just appear to be not good on the surface level. People just make this jump reaction immediately to how something looks, and then you just make snap judgments, right? We all do it to some degree, right? We're human, and but it really, especially with this kind of stuff, we always need to take a step back, look at some context, do some research, tap in, and realize there's way deeper stuff going on than just this surface level what we see.
And we have to know that we don't have the full picture. We simply
Mm.
don't, and we
Right.
probably won't ever.
Right. So your perspective is so limited, and you're making judgments from that place. You're never gonna have a completely accurate assessment from that place.
And that being said, I do want to clarify that like I am no expert on politics or the inauguration. This is simply, we're calling it a decode, but it's basically going through our observations and
Yeah.
just trying to highlight some of the things that stood out to us and some of the more notable things. And we're gonna go woo like we always do and just go to the craziest possible theories on what could be going on here, because if you just stick with this, if you stick with the surface level, you're going to be stuck in the mud forever.
Right.
You're literally going to be stuck in the mud forever. If you try to explain this
You-
with your current level of understanding, you have got to broaden your horizons just a little bit
Yeah.
and consider that there are other layers here. Um, Before we go into anything, Lily, I guess what were your thoughts on the entire thing?
I thought, I mean, Melania took me by surprise. I feel like she kind of stole the show for me. Beforehand, a couple days beforehand, I had seen a vision, and I shared this on my channel of like Trump being kind of surrounded uh, by guns. And I didn't know if that was like symbolic or literal or what exactly was going to come from that. But there was a few other things that were mentioned in that contact session. Also, I'll add, after I received that vision, I saw a gun being disarmed and like handed over. So a lot of the communication I get is through symbols. But one of the other things that was highlighted to me the day before, I think, was Melania and Barron. So I really kept my eyes on them. And something that I was told was Melania is aware. She's aware of everything. And those are the exact words that I got.
Right.
So
Mhm.
yes, she's aware of everything. And watching her, well, her outfit definitely made a statement. And I thought it was really interesting. You couldn't really see her eyes, but she definitely felt like she was, like on mission the entire time and knew what was going on. And I really feel like she was like holding space and and just holding the fort down. And I was receiving visions of her that night. Like I was literally seeing visions of her like all night. I'm like, why am I seeing this? Because there's something more there. There's much more going on that we did not see with our regular eyes on the screen. But I saw her kind of doing like a bunch of energy work, protection work. Like she was busy. She was doing a lot of stuff. And I feel like she was probably in constant telepathic contact. But besides that, it went really smooth. It was interesting. It was moved indoors. I think that was very significant. That it was moved indoors for a number of different reasons. And some of the things that he said during the speech was, I thought, uplifting and exciting.
Well, yeah. So really quick, I want you to check your mic, make sure that you're actually the right mic setting is on. Sounds like you might just be on your computer one. We can still hear you, but and might
Yeah.
just it kind of sounds like
The computer mic, maybe,
yeah.
not the actual
Okay.
mic. There we
Testing.
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Way better. There
Yeah.
you go.
Shit. Well,
No.
good. Glad we're good now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we're
no,
good
no.
now.
It sounds better.
I still hear you.
We-
It was what?
Rough. Okay, got you.
The guy who designed Melania's outfit says that they were going for a subtle Zorro theme, retribution and justice.
Nice.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
mean, I believe that. So, I mean, I don't even know where to start with all this stuff.
Right.
So, oh, we just lost her.
Oh, we lost Lily.
Okay.
And she's gone.
So I guess what I'll do is I do want to cover Melania's outfit and all of this stuff, but I'm going to go through the actual speech itself, just of not all of it, because we'll be here. I don't want to bore you with reading it. You guys can listen to it. But he started off right away saying, "Our sovereignty will be reclaimed." So, I mean, that's obviously, just an uplifting message.
Mhm.
But, and then right after that, he said, "The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end." So it's interesting to me that he says weaponation of the justice,
Weaponization.
weaponization, sorry, of the Justice Department, because it's interesting to look at it as a weapon, something that we don't
Yeah.
think of. It's supposed to be the exact opposite,
Right,
right?
right. But they use it as a weapon for injustice against
Right.
yeah.
And so, I mean, there's so many people that are just, beside themselves right now, and they think that we're absolute idiots for believing that there's actually a positive change happening right now. And if
Oh
you,
yeah.
and if you,
Sorry you feel that way, but I don't care if you feel whatever way about this, that you've done no research. Your opinion does not really mean much to me. I'm sorry if that sounds
well, I mean, you have to understand though, like we've been following this stuff for quite some time now,
right.
since 2017 when the whole Q movement started. So if you've been paying attention, you can see it. But if you haven't been paying attention, you really can't. It probably would look quite the
Yeah,
opposite.
and I get it. Right.
Because
Yeah.
that's the way it's being spun. I wonder what happened to her camera.
Oh yeah.
You guys hear me?
We can hear
We
you.
can hear you. Can't
I'm
see.
sorry. My computer is acting so weird right now. Like it's never done this before. I can't it's not even letting me click buttons or anything, so I might get kicked out again. But you guys go ahead. I don't want to distract you.
Yeah, no, you're fine. We can hear you. Okay, so we started going through some of the talk. So anyway, he was talking about the weaponization of the Justice Department, and that the top priority is to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. Obviously, typical stuff you would hear in an inauguration, but it gets a little deeper. In the next segment, this was something I found really interesting. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has a chance to seize this opportunity like never before. First thing I thought was, what a weird thing to say.
Right.
And then I thought solar flash, like sunlight is pouring over the entire world.
Yeah.
And like maybe what's happening right now is symbolic of a solar flash.
Or just the solar activity in general has been off the charts, and that's like the vibrations raising and stuff,
Which
because
is
of that
what's allowing
sunlight bathing over the world.
which is what's
World.
allowing this transition to even occur.
Right.
Because like
right.
the dark can't exist in those frequencies.
Exactly.
Are you still there, Lily? Lily, are you there? I guess not.
I guess not. She'll be back.
A plasma upgrade. Yeah. So guys, if you do have any questions, we're going to try to monitor the chat simultaneously and make this interactive. So if you have any questions, put question in all caps before your question. She said, Lily's in the chat. She said, I'm gone. Oh, okay.
Lily's having a hard time
Oh, well.
tech-wise right now.
Well, if you can come back in, Lily, then let yourself just come back in. And if not, then we'll see you next time. Okay, so, there was, let's just keep moving forward. So just a few notes I took. This is what I found interesting too.
Golden age. Somebody said, yeah, he used the term golden age.
Right, which we'll get in. That's
We'll
at the
get into
very
that.
end. Yeah.
Right.
So this is also interesting. And if you ever needed to know who the guilty party was, you could have just watched all the Democrats
Oh my goodness.
that were there.
Obvious.
You know, which Biden and Jill and then Hillary and Bill and Obama came. He came by himself. And I'm forgetting some other Kamala, but so they all were, sitting in their one little section, and they stood up sometimes and applauded with the audience, but in particular, it was so noticeable whenever Trump said, "I was saved by God to make America great again," and he was talking about how he had just, dodged a bullet, and the whole place erupted, and they noticeably just stayed sitting. Like you would
silent and sitting.
You would think that even they would at least put on a fake smile for that one.
Right. You would think.
It was like, no, they just told the whole world, like, yeah, we tried to kill you and you shouldn't be standing here right now and fuck you.
Right. It's almost like they were so mad they didn't even care
Right.
about how it looked. They were just like, it's like a toddler throwing a fit that there's like, I don't even care. I'm not going to applaud. They were so mad about that fact.
Right. And
Right.
then Hillary was like laughing at times and rolling her eyes like and
Right.
just like ridiculousness, especially whenever he said that he was gonna change it to the Gulf of America. And
Yeah.
like Hillary like noticeably started laughing. And there were so many things. I'm gonna just keep flipping through the parts I highlighted really quick, and then we'll start discussing it a little more. Um, First thing he will do is declare a national emergency at our southern border, which is already happening.
Mhm.
Which is obviously, if people don't understand what that's about, it's to stop the human trafficking. And all the clients for the human trafficking, unfortunately, are in the United States. There's a reason that they're coming through the border.
It's way more than just the drug, because everyone thinks, oh, it's the drug trafficking. That's the most minor aspect. It's actually the human trafficking. Children, by the way, is a massive part of that. Children, uh, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
There, yeah,
Yeah, I agree. But I don't think, I mean, that's a reason that as soon as Biden got in the first time, they opened that up so they can keep that flow going. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally their life force. I mean,
yeah.
they need that to,
That's their life.
Yeah,
That's one of the biggest things they need to keep going. Right.
Yeah.
Which is why they're so opposed.
up.
But they try to make it about, oh, you're racist and you hate immigrants if you want, they always
Right.
try to spin it as like it's a negative thing if you're against the thing they need to actually do evil, right? That's what they do. So
Right. And another thing I didn't highlight, but I might as well just say it now while I'm thinking about it. Uh, I literally applauded in my own living room when he said this. Or I think I just saw it. He goes, um, we will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. I was like, thank you.
yeah.
And so many people are like absolutely triggered by that. And I understand because, I mean, we have been so heavily programmed for so long, and there have been a lot of people who have done some things to their body that don't allow them to fit into that category objectively. But within, you are male or female.
Biologically, it
yeah.
is a biological fact, unless you're a hermaphrodite, which is, a teeny small percentage. Barring that, it is a biological fact you are a male or a female, regardless of how you dress or how you look or what you want to identify as or whatever, right?
Right.
When you die and your skeleton is found hundreds of years later, they're going to go, oh, this was a female. Oh, this one was a male. They're not going to go, you know what? I think these identified as, I think these were a trans.
Right.
No, it's a biological fact, and that's what's going on. But the agenda is to, like Max Spears always talked about, their agenda is to invert everything, to weaken humanity, and to pervert everything from the natural order for control and enslavement, right, and domination. So they have to masculinize everything feminine and feminize everything masculine, and they want you to be this amorphous blob of like spineless nothing that will just be easily controlled and manipulated, and you've lost all self-sovereignty and will of your own, right?
Well
That's
said.
what these agendas are working towards. So that's what we're talking. We're not talking about being anti-gay or anti-LGBTQ or any of that nonsense that they want to spin it as. We're talking about that, just to be clear.
Absolutely. And I'm going to try and take questions as we go here. So, Katie Rains asked, what do you think Barron whispered to Biden? So that was actually officially fact checked by X. That if you watch it from a different angle, he was actually greeting Kamala Harris, and it looked like he whispered something to Biden, but maybe he wasn't. Maybe he actually whispered something to Biden. That's just what the fact check said. Okay. And we know fact checkers, but I would say that arguably the fact checks that I have seen on X are pretty solid actual fact checks. Not like the stuff that they do on Facebook and all that stuff.
Most of them are, yeah.
Yeah. So what if we want to pretend like he said something? We can just pretend like he said, "You're going down, motherfucker."
Right.
Who knows? And Lily, you got your computer figured out?
You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was weird.
Did you have anything to say, chime in on what we're talking about before we move on?
I didn't catch the Baron thing. I had my eyes on him though a lot from what I did see, and yeah, he's an interesting person. One of the messages that I got beforehand was that that day would like alter his timeline. So I think that was something like maybe we didn't see, publicly could see on the surface, but something happened internally. And I don't know, this is my first time like watching Baron. So I don't know if his energy was different than usual or what. Maybe you guys can chime on that. But maybe he's stepping up more. He's definitely really freaking tall.
Yeah. So
Right.
he is a like a happy-go-lucky, really funny guy. I've heard him on interviews and stuff,
Mhm.
and he's like always smiling. So him and Melania, it tells me so there's something this was not just an inauguration. This was like um they were there on mission. Like they knew the reality of the situation and the severity of the risk at hand, that anything could happen. I'm sure there were
Yeah.
attempts planned as far as the whole black magic
On a
thing,
spiritual level, right.
even on a spiritual,
There's, yeah,
but on a spiritual level, extraterrestrial level, I mean,
extraterrestrial, right.
but other layers that weren't
Mhm.
perceivable to us. And
Right.
this is what I made my video about. Like, I think Melania was legitimately um, doing some white magic, meaning like
100%.
shielding Trump. And who knows, if anybody's an energy worker or anybody who's a psychic or an intuitive medium who taps in, it doesn't look like anything, from the outside. It just looks like you're sitting there.
Right.
But what you can be accessing in other realms in that very moment um, can be very powerful. And this is known by the elites who have been using ritual magic all along. So I believe she was shielding, and I believe that it looked like it looked like some news had been broken. They just had found something out. And the look on his face told me like he was not happy to be there because he knows who these people really are.
Mhm.
And I think he probably is starting to understand the truth of the matter. And he was probably pissed. And he's like, I'm not even going to pretend like I like you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to chime in on that. That's like literally what I was getting a couple days before. Like something, whenever they said like it would alter his timeline forever and it would help him to step up, motivate and inspire him to one day lead, is what I heard. And that's kind of what I was picking up on. Like he could see the corruption or something. And I agree with that. And with the Melania thing, like whenever I do a lot of my like psychic sessions or do the Akashic records or whatever, like I'll lay down and I'll get into a meditative state and I'll like put something over my eyes to kind of like block out and just shield so that I can tune in better. I feel like with the hat, it was like multiple things. It was a layer of protection, and then like your eyes are the window into your soul.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that really added a protective layer for maybe black magic or whatever. People could have been putting attacks, and maybe that would have allowed them more access to her field if they could see her eyes. But I also think it like kind of shielded her to where she could like tune in better. And yeah, what I was seeing, the visions of her all night, it was just like her doing all sorts of stuff in the astral realm or whatever you want to call it. She was
You
busy.
just, yeah, you just said the very first thing I thought of when I first saw that she was like shielding her eyes with that hat. I'm like, she's shielding her eyes because of black magic type of stuff.
Right.
That's the first thing I thought of. I'm
Well,
like, she won't, because you know if you can make eye contact, you can like connect to somebody,
yeah.
right? Well,
She's like, not
she
today.
intentionally. There's a reason she was like hiding half of her face and her eyes, right? Well, I think that was a big aspect.
Well, that is one way to perform black magic on somebody is by making eye contact.
Yeah,
If you have
100%.
nefarious intentions.
Yeah.
So also, Melania's outfit, the whole black dress, the black everything, you would think like, because last time I think she wore all white, and it was very symbolic of like the
Mhm.
white hats and all that stuff. And I started when I was looking at that and watching her mannerisms throughout the entire thing. I mean, she was like galactic boss bitch, like all the
Yeah.
way. Like,
Yeah, totally.
she just like it was like kind of like a fuck around and find out type of attitude.
Right.
But it made me reconsider my opinion about dark MAGA. So I was like, why did they go dark and black and everything? But to me, it's like, what did you say the other day? Like
Oh,
we,
hi.
what did you say the other day, Lily? We can't kumbaya our way out of this.
Yeah.
Love and light your way out of
Yeah,
this
you can't like,
without.
yeah.
We gotta get down and dirty a little bit.
So I feel
Gotta
like
get badass.
I feel like going Black MAGA was their way of saying, okay, like we tried to do this the nice way, and we're not playing anymore. Like
Right.
I think Dark MAGA was like, look, we can play dirty too, and I think
It's like we gave you the option of doing this the easy way and you chose the hard way,
right,
almost
and
vibe.
and I think that was very symbolic of what she was wearing. Also, it like mimicked. It was like a nod to the dress that Princess Diana wore, apparently, and then the
Mhm.
whole V for Vendetta. Um, so there was a
Mhm.
lot of layers of symbology there, but ultimately, I think it's like, yeah, we gave you the chance
Yeah.
to do this right way. Now it's our
Now
turn.
it's fuck around and find out time.
Right.
Yeah.
Just fuck around and
Right.
find
Now
out
it's the
time.
find out time. You fucked around.
I mean, we're
What?
warriors of light. We came to a dualistic, very dense earth. We had to have training before we came here. We couldn't just be,
Mhm.
all kumbaya to be able to survive down here, I think.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. And
Yep.
we will, Carol Light, we will get to the vaccine thing
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
with Larry Ellison. We will absolutely get to that. Let's move on a little bit into through this speech. Uh, are
Mhm.
just talking about returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places where they came from. Now that's interesting to me because Daryl James in his testimony that whenever if anybody knows his story, his executive officer in the military told him in 2004 that eventually when we got to this point, he said that a few things were going to happen. Canada and United States were going to merge. Greenland would become ours. They would push the Mexican border down to the Yucatan Peninsula and bottleneck where it bottlenecks so it can be a defendable border. And he said that the first thing that they would do whenever all this starts happening is sending all the illegal aliens back home where they came from to their respective countries. That's literally happening right now.
Yeah.
And the reason people think this is a bad thing, but we're going to get into the woo aspect of this. So if we're going to believe that time travel is possible and looking glass technology is real, and this has already been done before, it it was described to Daryl by his executive officer is it has to go down like this because it's the only way that the planet ascends. This ultimately leads to the ascension timeline.
Yeah.
It may not look pretty, but there's certain moves being made, specific strategic moves that they learned the hard way the first time around, and it led them into a dead end to where that civilization could not ascend past the fifth dimension.
The way I see it is we have to have a unified planet, unified humanity. And the only way to do that is on this, and this is just one level of it, right? But it has to play out on the 3D level at looking like it could look like a new world order is being created, but you're either going to get the negative new world order timeline or you're going to get the positive new world order timeline. And it's you could say, yeah, it's the negative one's a technical unified enslaved humanity, right?
Hmm.
But it's still unified, but then you have the positive unified sovereign free and ascension timeline.
Yeah.
And that's what we're on. And that's why I get that, we're so programmed with like, oh no, this is New World Order, it's merging everything, it's bad. No, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's unifying the planet.
Right.
But the power is going back to humanity where it's been stripped from us and stolen from us. I mean, we always have the power, right? We're waking up now, and this is the manifestation of our awakening and taking our power back. Is that it's manifesting now as like Trump is like leading, the charge on a 3D, more political 3D level, but he's working with this massive team of light
Hmm.
that goes beyond human, right?
Right.
He's just kind of the 3D human face, you could say, of that, and then there's these things that are surface level manifestations of
And
that.
and there's so many deeper layers to this.
Yeah, there
And
are.
as far as the borders go, I mean, the invisible lines are pretty silly. anyway, if we're being honest. You,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
And doing one, you can do these things in this area, but you cross this invisible line, and now it's illegal, and you can get thrown
Right.
in jail, and it's like none. And there's wars going on in this across this invisible line, but not over.
I mean,
All this nonsense, right?
I literally got pulled over while I was driving because I was on my phone in Missouri and I drove across the invisible line into Illinois
Right.
and I was still on my phone and I got pulled over because it's illegal to be on your phone in Illinois on your while you're driving.
Even just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, I mean, it's just like the silliest things, but
Yeah.
I digress. So, anyway, this whole thing with the borders and stuff, it may look like it doesn't make any sense, but like this has all been done already. They know the outcome. We're literally just playing it out and it's seeing it manifest in real time. Um, Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. That's interesting because the cartels are literally the three-letter agencies,
Right.
and
They are the terrorists.
and yeah,
Yeah.
they are. That's what I'm saying.
The
So
terrorists are right here.
it's a
and the other
big
agencies.
it's a big statement, a bold statement. He goes, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of the federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastation to the U.S. soil. So,
Mhm.
but that includes all of the government and the swamp and
Yeah.
the three-letter
The
agencies.
deep state.
Yeah.
The deep
and
state that is hidden beneath the surface and embedded within all these agencies and government,
even the military industrial complex.
corporations, and
Yeah.
all the rest of it, institutions. Right.
Um,
Military industrial complex, obviously.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many amazing things.
Aerospace companies go down the list, right?
Right.
They're embedded in
There's-
everything that's being cleared out. Yeah.
So many amazing things he said, but we won't go through all of it. I forgot why oh, this is great for us. So I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. But he was also talking about, I took that as the censorship of all of us and all of our channels. And obviously, like, it's so easy to get up there and say this stuff. I think we're transitioning out of political theater into actionable change right now.
Mhm.
And I know people have a hard time believing that. But I really do feel like I felt it whenever I was watching the speech. I couldn't help. I got chills like 5 different times,
Mhm.
and I was like being activated, and I felt this shift occurring. And I think like if you're not like of a spiritual mindset and like kind of like on this path, you're only going to be parroting what you hear on the media,
Mhm.
and that propaganda is literally going to create like triggers within you. And
Yeah.
then you're not going to respond to this stuff in a healthy manner because you really have been misinformed.
And you're only stuck in your ego, 3D kind of mindset, ego mentality, disconnected from the heart, from your spirit, and you're interpreting everything from that space, and you're going to be interpreting things way wrong from that space, to put it simply. And until you get out of your ego and start getting to a deeper level of yourself and a deeper level of reality, and realizing there are way deeper levels going on to everything around you, you're never ever going to know what's really going on,
Right.
and the slightest.
Right.
It's that simple.
So he also said that he's going to reinstate all the jobs that people lost for not getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And trust me, we're going to cover this vaccine stuff that happened yesterday with the mRNA and this Larry Satan guy.
Yeah. Right.
But we'll cover that in a minute. We'll get through this first. Lily, do you want to chime in on any of this before we move on?
Yeah, I've been here the other day. I was hearing like shadow ban a lot, shadow ban. So about like the censorship thing, and then I just saw it like multiple times today. Even me replying to somebody got blocked immediately from being able to post.
Yeah.
So it's like they're like extra shadow banning certain things on maybe on some platforms. So I think and even that reel with me that's getting a lot of hits on Instagram. A lot of the comments coming in are just really fucking mean. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Very mean. Like people are going crazy.
We've been getting a lot of that lately.
Yeah, and didn't you say, Tyler, that somebody was trying to comment like something positive and they couldn't even like comment?
Yeah, so somebody reached out to us and said, "Hey man, I'm literally trying to like leave a good comment, like a positive comment under this reel and it's blocking me."
Wow.
And so like we're getting hate mail and hate comments from trolls and the likes of which we've never seen before.
Yeah, like the
Parasite.
level
Yeah.
we've gotten a good amount
Yeah.
too. I mean, this is a whole
It,
level we've never even
it
experienced
is
before.
not the
It's nuts.
popular thing to like Trump and think that something positive is happening. Like if you even remotely think something good is happening right now, people hate you for it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Like people literally are wishing death, will wish death upon you,
Yeah.
and the seething hatred that
right.
I've never
That's the
even
comment.
seen before.
Yeah.
That's the comment that somebody was like wishing I'm dead or something like that. And then
Oh
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow, your demons are showing. And then I immediately got
Well,
blocked and I couldn't reply to
the
anything.
demons are showing. Exactly. People's
Uh,
true natures are you can't hide things. The triggers are getting so intense now that everyone's true colors are all coming out.
It's
know?
and well, we have to remember that a lot of times the soul is not in the driver's seat anymore.
Absolutely.
So there are quite literally entities working through people. But
Yeah.
I feel like that it's definitely like I don't know why the universe decided to make that reel go viral. Like it's not. I don't know if I guess you can call it viral. It's over
For
220,000.
us, it's
Viral.
220,000
On
views.
Instagram. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
viral.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I mean, and we're just reaching a whole new audience, but it's like I would say 90% of the comments are just horrible. I'm like, geez, like this is
Yeah.
good news. Like the reel is like should be good news to people. And
But it's really revealing,
Yeah.
to me, the fact that like so many of those people watching that video, it triggered them so badly that they have to like make these seething hatred comments directed towards us and people like us, it's like they can't help themselves.
Right.
It's like, dude, I watch videos and come across stuff all the freaking time, not just on the internet, but everything, where I'm just roll my eyes or just like, oh man, but I don't feel this like need to do that. I've never done
Well,
that.
and
But
there,
the fact that all these people are doing that shows you there's some like dark stuff
well, and you can
going on
tell
here.
too because they're not actually commenting on the content. They start criticizing and attacking your character,
Right. Personal
and
attacks.
and the way
Right.
you look and
Personal attacks.
like stupid stuff that like and people are like seeing it and immediately spinning it into an attack on themselves, which is an attack on their beliefs, which is an attack on their identity,
Yeah.
their perceived identity. So
It's very
Yeah.
it's very ego, like personal attack, I'm better than you kind of thing.
um
Right. But I
You're
wanted to
stupid,
bring that.
I'm smart, you're evil, I'm good.
right,
I'm gonna like tell you that, and like we're gonna like you're telling us something by
right,
like you're not just revealing exactly what's going on with you. It's
right.
quite humorous.
They tell you more about themselves than
Right,
they tell you
they
about
tell you everything about themselves and nothing about you, but they think they're telling you about you.
Yeah, projecting. But I
Projecting.
wanted to mention that because it reminds me of, okay, I'm quoting Star Wars, but there's a part in Star Wars, I think it was in the last trilogy. Yeah, it was in the last trilogy where they say they get you to think that you are alone. And that
Right.
like really stuck with me. So they're probably just keep in mind that at least from what I was experiencing today, they could be suppressing some of the more positive things and people coming together and then putting all of the kind of hate in your face to make you think that that's all that there is or the majority is freaking out or hating or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, didn't you say that like they got an order when you were tapping in, they had an order to go down kicking and screaming,
Yeah.
basically. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So they're just going to try. I mean, if they still have any control of the algorithm at all, they're going to,
Somebody said, "Wonder how many bots." Well, that's exactly. I think a lot of them
Yeah.
are not even humans. They're a lot of them are bots, and a lot of them are agents as
Yeah.
well, which are
yeah. And it's very,
doing that
yeah.
intentionally as a psychological warfare. So people, because they know people read comments, and you can psychologically be manipulated through. Oh, look at all these negative comments, getting you to think that way about videos. There are way more agents than I think people realize that are paid to do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And there's bots as well,
Right.
obviously. So
I agree. Great point.
how many of them are even organic, right?
But to my point of them like going down kicking and screaming, like if they do have control somehow of the algorithm, or at least they can get into their comment section, they're gonna do whatever they can to at least, you know, skew the perspective in whatever way possible until they're just gone.
Right.
Um,
They're desperate. So
all right,
of course they're going to do that.
let's move on. There's not much more to cover in the actual speech, and then we can get into some of the Stephen Greer stuff too. And I want to sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. That
Beautiful.
is huge. I can see that as a double meaning talking about my labs, right? Or my lab victims.
Oh yeah.
And all of the men and women who enter the service thinking that they're going to do a good thing, and they become a subject of an experiment, essentially, and
Mhm.
used in these programs that aren't supposed to exist. And I think that this is going to put a stop to a lot of that if that actually goes through, which he might have already signed something pertaining to that. I don't know.
Right.
But social experiments. Stop warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
and I
been
think
feeling since the inauguration, I've been feeling just uh I don't know. I feel like people who are involved in the programs, I'm definitely feeling a shift with that. Kind of like a loosening the grip and kind of like releasing of because you can go into these programs basically as slaves. And I don't know, I've had some experiences that felt like it was releasing me from some stuff having to do with the programs since the inauguration.
mhm.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it trickles all the way down into things like that, what he's doing.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
if you stop it at the source, you're not like you're gonna get these people out of power. Like the very first day, what happened? He revoked the security clearance for 51 CIA agents that had access to Hunter Biden's laptop. So he just cutting them out of the equation. Like, sorry, you're done. Like you can't control and gatekeep this information anymore. The whole world is going to know what the Hunter Biden laptop really is, and it's going to expose the pedophilia and the child trafficking in a way that I don't think people are ready to handle, but it's going to happen.
Right.
And this is also an interesting thing. He said the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That is huge.
they literally have movies, CIA plots about hostages being stuck in these other countries, and it's all literally propaganda. It's all just a warmongering machine,
Mhm.
and it's time for that to end, and everybody gets to come home, and the game is over.
Yep.
Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America.
Something I wanted to add real quick while you were talking about like the deportation and stuff and kind of like I don't know, I was getting some hits on so that there's movement kind of above the surface on that, but it's also happening underground over the last couple of days, kind of like this territory or renegotiations of territory or kicking out of territory is like what I was picking up on like underground too while you were saying that. But over the last couple of days, I've been getting uh, a lot. I've been hearing it a lot. And this is dark, but the like about the adrenochrome stuff, like cleaning that out and like taking down some of these farms like immediately since he got into office, like I'm sensing a lot of that being taken down underground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
And
believe it.
and a lot of that actually coincides with some of the stuff Stephen Greer is talking about, which we'll cover in a little bit. But
Mhm.
I'm absolutely blown away that he brought up on a number of occasions um, human trafficking.
Wow.
ET reverse engineered technology using to traffic humans. And he says it like it's a big issue and it needs to be stopped. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe that
Yeah.
he's going there because, and he hints also, which we'll cover this more, but he hinted multiple times at a parallel space program, a secret space program. And he's like, if they had these crafts before we even went to the moon officially, imagine what they're doing now and where they've gone.
Right.
And then he follows that up by talking about human trafficking. He's literally in a roundabout way talking about the galactic slave trade.
Mhm.
So that is one of the good things I think that is coming out of what Greer is doing. But there's another
We'll talk about
side.
the not good.
Yeah, there's another side of that
Yeah, of
coin.
course.
Um,
He does a lot of great work, regardless, you take the good, leave the rest, right? He does a lot of
think-
great work, regardless of certain things that he
Right.
says and does that are not so great.
Right.
So together we will end chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease free. That's beautiful. Obviously, make America healthy again. This whole vaccine AI Stargate thing, we'll cover that at the end of this. Um, he said, and we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars. And then Elon like jumped up and down like a little boy.
Is that when he made the salute that people are saying was
No.
the
So
NACI?
so let's talk about that. So
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mimic it because somebody will screenshot it. but-
Right, and be like, look, there, I told you.
So I mean, okay, we can. Yeah, it looks bad. Objectively, on the
Right.
surface, it really looks bad.
Right.
But let's get real. First of all, if you watch it in context, he said, "My heart goes out to you." He grabbed his heart and threw it out to the audience. Um, my heart
Mhm.
goes out to you. It was a very joyous, exciting moment for him. He's highly autistic. Somebody said he's so far on the spectrum that he's off the spectrum. And
Right.
so there are things to consider, and he's already addressed it, which tells me that
Right.
if they were really trying to,
He wouldn't have addressed it.
he wouldn't
if
have addressed it
was
if it was
real.
actually a real salute.
They screenshot that one little frame of him, and they're like, look, here's the proof.
Right.
It's such a
So
no, not.
But there's images of a bunch of other people doing that same thing, and they
Right.
didn't
Right.
pick anybody else doing it.
Well, somebody just showed it was a video of AOC doing the exact same thing. And did the media say anything about that? No.
Right.
Silence. No one did.
Right.
Same
I mean,
exact
if you're
hand
facing
gesture.
a crowd, like I could see how, because you're you're facing a crowd. Like I could
Right.
see how.
You could accidentally, you're not thinking about, oh, that doesn't look great, but
Yeah.
I'm going to
you
show
know,
Right.
you got to look at the context, everything like he's saying, and then consider
That's
at
actually
the
an
very least, you got to
indrom-
be like, I don't know. You can't be like definitively he was doing a NAZI. It's proof. No.
right.
Nope. Not
There's
proof.
actually an Andromedan galaxy. I told Tyler this the other day. This is just something kind of to think about, or something interesting to consider. But I was shown years ago that from the Andromeda galaxy, these beings, how they greet each other, they put their hand on their chest and then they do like that. Not necessarily like up there, but they do that,
Right.
and that's an Andromedan greeting, and it's basically my heart goes out to you, like literally that's what it
Right.
means.
Right.
And
I mean, the swastika itself is an ancient, beautiful, amazing symbol that got used, unfortunately, by a very negative group. And then now everyone thinks it's a hate symbol. No, it's
Right.
not. It's a very ancient, amazing, beautiful, powerful symbol.
I just wanted to.
And you can still look at it that way.
I wanted to
right?
share this proof that Trump is Hitler real quick.
Oh, yeah. Here's the proof. Here's more
Look
proof.
he drank a glass of water. He thumbs up. He was on a phone. Hitler did all those things, so he must be
So
Hitler.
he must be Hitler. Right. It's proof.
This is
Smoking gun.
right. That cracked me up. I mean, this is a perfect example. Like you're not allowed to even do anything without somebody. I mean, the whole world is we're under surveillance right now. We're
Right.
all literally being surveilled 100% of the time, if not by cameras, by literally all of
And literally anyone ever you can make it look out of context like anything is something if you want it to. And you can even make a very convincing on the surface to look, this is proof that this person's this, by taking something out of context, taking a screenshot.
somebody said,
You
yeah,
know,
but
you can do that with anyone ever, right?
Mark said, yeah, but it was the Nazi water brand. Right.
Right.
That
right.
just made me chuckle. I want to add real quick about the Elon thing. So Debbie Solaris did a star, the Akashic reader. She did a short Akashic reading on Elon, and said that he was from the Andromeda galaxy, also from Mars, but
Really?
ancient soul, originally from the Andromeda galaxy. So I thought that was interesting that that's also an Andromedan greeting.
Yeah.
So I
There you
definitely-
go.
Yeah.
That's
so
fascinating.
Ascension
Something to think about.
Diaries. Ascension
Yeah.
Diaries, Alexis just said, I felt the love in his gesture, to be honest. I felt it too. Like there was a joyous excitement about it. But I also have a theory about Elon where I don't even think he's a full human. Somebody made a really good point. Because I was observing him during the inauguration, and I was like, dude, if this guy isn't a robot, then I just don't know like what he is. Like
Right.
he was not even just standing there or sitting there. He was not behaving like all of the humans around him.
We got a troll.
I mean,
Oh,
he's different for sure.
We have a troll officially.
He is not normal.
right. Um, no, so but
Right.
somebody made a great point saying, like it looked like he was chipped and he had like an augmented reality screen like being displayed. And I swear, whenever you have that in mind and look at him again, because he's looking around like this, and he's looking around and he turns his head real quick, like he's like almost like looking at some display, as if he like is looking through like a display, an augmented reality display.
Mhm.
And he's very robotic looking when he moves. Like at one point, his head started like going in circles. It was like really, really eerie. And he's either autistic or he's like the world's first like like humanoid cyborg synthetic that's we've ever seen. And they're just trying to see like they're like, oh well, they buy it by now. They've already bought it, so just let him go. They don't have to explain his behavior anymore. Maybe.
Right. Somebody said there are 3 Elons. There might be. There might be multiple. That's a
Right.
good point.
In Trump's interview with Joe Rogan, Trump said that Elon wasn't from here. Yeah, Elon even
Mhm.
hinted, Elon said it himself in some tweets. He's like, I'm an alien or something, you know. Uh,
Right.
that brings me to another point. This wasn't the inauguration speech, but it was a post speech where Trump was talking, just kind of freestyling, and there was a Secret Service guy next to him, and somehow, you know, how he just kind of goes on his little rants and stuff. But Trump was talking about how the Secret Service guy was like so much stronger than him, and it was like an older guy. But Trump's like, and besides, he's much, much, much younger than me. He goes, but I don't want to have that conversation right now. And I'm like, but
You're like,
I was looking like
what is that?
he's not. That's a weird thing to say, and he's not much younger than you. So either he's like some off-world German who's like stayed 28 years old, like how they look, and he's like hundreds of years old, or Trump is way older than we think, and he's been age regressed
Right.
and time traveled and all that stuff. There was this interesting comment about his age. I'm like, oh, he just told the world that he's hundreds of years old,
Right.
and without telling them. And the guy that I just muted from the chat that said we're whack jobs, I agree. It absolutely sounds like we're whack jobs.
Yeah,
Like,
if you've never
right.
yeah, if you're new to all this information, yeah, it's gonna sound crazy, of course.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's not true? No.
Yeah.
Something sounding crazy doesn't mean it's not
And
true.
it doesn't mean it is true
It
either.
also doesn't mean it is true automatically,
Yeah.
but you have to do your own research. You have to figure that out for yourself. That's your own journey.
But we'll just have fun exploring that
Right.
and discuss it because why not? All right, last thing. We will live proudly, we will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. The end. I thought
Golden
that
age has just
yeah.
begun. Boom.
the
Mic
whole,
drop.
the whole thing was powerful. So let's get into okay, right off the bat, he starts signing all the executive orders and it looks great. Day two, this whole thing with this mRNA AI, Stargate, which is an interesting name for that. It's interesting that everything surrounding the vaccines, we have Warp Speed and then now Stargate. If you've watched our Q webinar part two, we covered Operation Warp Speed and what we think it was, and it was like an accelerated process to get out as many saline vaccines as possible, so that anybody who got the first batch, essentially their lives were being saved because they were just being injected with saline.
Yeah. They weren't ready, basically, so he forced them to rush it out,
Yeah.
which means he actually saved a lot of lives. It's the exact opposite of what
Right.
And there
think.
were nurses. There was a nurse in Germany who just was let free or charges were dropped or whatever, where that's what she was in trouble for, was giving saline to a bunch, thousands
Yeah.
and thousands of patients.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were some of the jabs were tested and proven to be saline that
Wow.
were given out as the COVID vaccine, right? So
Okay.
now
So
you got to ask yourself, why would they intentionally give saline if it's a legitimate vaccine for something, that can only be something nefarious, that they're like, oh, we can't have too many people dying all at once, so we're going to make a percentage just saline, or either that or they were rushed and they just didn't have the means to make, so they're like, oh, we'll just do the rest saline, or
So-
combination of those two, right?
This is something else to keep in mind about this Larry, what's his name? Larry Ellison.
Yeah.
Um, this is just a meme, obviously, but this is something that was shared during the Q era. He doesn't silence his opponents. He shoves them into the spotlight and lets them destroy themselves.
Right.
What do you do when you want to expose someone, but you know people won't believe you? Put them in front and center and let them expose themselves. What is this doing with this Larry Ellison guy? It is getting literally everyone to talk about the negative effects of the mRNA and spreading so much awareness about it that it can't be ignored.
Yep.
It literally can't be ignored. And I think, Lily, you tapped in earlier and you heard something about like it goes deep, and then you heard psyop upon psyop upon psyop. Do you want to elaborate on that maybe?
Yeah, I was tuning into that. That's basically like like plans within plans within plans is what I was hearing. And yeah, it's like psyop within psyop. It's like 5D, 10D chess going on is what I was picking up on. And I don't know, I just felt like a sense of peace. And I was also being reminded of one of the last kind of updates that I got right before the inauguration. They were saying like theatrics. There's going to be a bunch of this going on back and forth, and it's all like being orchestrated and all kind of like a play, like it's a show. And I don't know, I just felt like peace and reminded myself to kind of be grounded and also just kind of trust and be heart-centered. But yeah, that's what I was getting. Plans within plans within plans. And interesting, the messages that I got a day or two before the inauguration, they mentioned warp speed, and I wasn't sure why. Now this makes sense.
Right.
Right. Right.
So really, while I'm going to play this clip, since he said like this is a show, it's a movie, theatrics, right? This is something interesting. For one, the alliance, there's an interesting comment made about the alliance. So just for context, Trump is speaking to the commander in chief while through a Zoom call to the troops in South Korea. And this is the video. And at one point in the video, the troops say, "The alliance is strong and we are ready to receive you, Mr. President." So I'm going to play that.
Right.
I'm going to play that clip.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. How we doing over there? How's Kim Jong-un doing? How are you?
President, how do you hear me?
That's a good-looking group of people, isn't it? Thank you
Mr.
for being
President,
with
sir,
us,
how do you hear
please.
us?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Sir, I'm Lieutenant General Chris Lee, Commanding General 8th Army. This is Command Star Major Raman Balmer. We're based at Camp Humphrey, South Korea, United States bedrock of unmistakable land power on freedom's frontier in Asia. Protection of both homelands, sir. It's a profound honor to stand before you today, representing our incredible team here in Korea. We're deeply grateful for this opportunity to be part of this occasion. Sir, on behalf of the brave men and women who serve under my command and the thousands of dedicated service members that are part of the joint team in Korea, congratulations on your victory as the 47th President of the United States. Welcome back, Mr. President. Sir, we'd be privileged to host you here in Korea soon. You can see firsthand the mentality of our soldiers here, how our formations are, our fight tonight focus, and our ironclad commitment to the defense of Korea and our homelands. To meet the families who serve alongside our warfighters, sir. Pacific victory, sir.
How
coming
about
up?
that? So, could I ask you, how is it going in South Korea right now? How's it doing? You have somebody with pretty bad intentions, I guess. You know, you would say that, although I developed a pretty good relationship with him, but he's a tough cookie. How is it going over there? How is it doing?
Every day we train, we stay hard, we plan for anything that you possibly could need us to do. The alliance is strong, and we're ready to receive you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. This is really,
So the alliance is strong and we're ready to receive you, Mr. President. I thought that was a huge statement that just kind
Yeah.
of got slipped in there. But then this is somebody kind of remixed the end of this clip, but this is where Trump makes a few comments about this being like a movie.
Man, central casting or what?
Wow.
Is this man central casting or what?
Intro casting.
Is this man central casting or what? If I'm doing a movie, I pick him to play my lead. I want a movie, I pick him to play my lead. Central casting or what? If I'm doing a movie, I pick him to play my lead. I want to thank you all very much. What a good-looking group of people, and we are very secure when we have people like you in our military.
So anyway, that I just found was interesting. For one, if I'm playing a movie, I pick you to be my lead, and then the alliance thing, just some subtleties. Just whenever you know what to look for, you can really start to notice and pay attention things like that.
Trump does that a lot, by the way, where he likes to like say something that's like a hidden code if you know you know type of thing, right? He does that a lot.
So this is what Dr. Shannon Kroner said about Larry Ellison. She goes, "What kind of sick joke is this? This is Larry Ellison, Oracle, who's an Oracle apparently, and oh no, of Oracle.
Yeah.
Well, he probably is an Oracle.
Yeah, right.
Oracle is also a CIA shell company, by the way.
Yep.
And his evil laugh proposing AI. I can't read this.
mRNA vaccines.
Yeah. Can someone call for Robert Kennedy ASAP to come to the press room and drop the hammer on this guy and remove him from the building? What is this diabolical nonsense? POTUS, sorry, but this Ellison guy should never have the mic ever again. He was never part of the equation when America elected you." So that's kind of the stance that people are holding right now.
And it's completely 100% understandable.
Right.
But
Right.
there's more going on.
Yeah. What kind of sick joke is this? This is Larry Ellison of Oracle. So Oracle is a CIA shell company, and Ian Carroll, if you guys know who he is, he's kind of gone viral too recently. And he did a dig on Oracle, which is also the shell company that operates out of Texas, where all of the TikTok servers are, meaning that TikTok servers are not even in China, they're in Texas. And TikTok is a CIA ran company, meaning that whenever they shut it down, what I think happened was it was a password reset, and they transitioned the power also of the TikTok to an actual company that's actually going to do something right with it and not be an intelligence agency.
Deep state controlled. Right.
Yeah. And, Ian Carroll decided to do that dig on his own because he was like, why am I getting censored for all this stuff when exposing US corruption, but I can expose the CCP all day long? So you think if it was a Chinese company, they wouldn't want me. It would be the opposite. Right.
Right. Makes no sense. That's because it's not true.
Yeah. So turns out TikTok might not even, it might have ties with China, absolutely. But like the servers and even the oversight committee that was overseeing the algorithm was operating out of Texas. So they were controlling everything here on US soil. It never had anything to do with China. So whenever it shut down, I think it was a good thing. I was like, all right, they took it out of the hands of Oracle and it's now under new ownership. Maybe somebody actually Chinese. I think it is a Chinese guy, but I'm going to play this clip from Ian Carroll. He makes some good points about this. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to play.
Different.
Wrong clip.
Wrong clip.
Okay. Maybe it might not actually save then. Maybe this is it.
Are those your notes for what to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
See, people read from notes, okay? I know some people were giving me crap like I'm reading from a script. People write notes to remember what talking points to talk about.
Right. I mean, yes, we just won't play it. Anyway, Ian Carroll, go check out his Instagram or his X. He did a really great video. We just actually shared it on IG, Instagram on our story if you want to watch it. Kind of breaking down the legitimate concerns about this vaccine and Larry Ellison and the AI and the Stargate thing. like I said, Stargate, it's a really interesting. I think there's a double meaning there as well. Warp speed
Yeah.
and Stargate.
Stargate, right?
There's otherworldly things happening simultaneous to the surface level politics that we may never understand. And I think these are like nods to that
Mhm.
whenever we get names like that for these projects and operations. Um, so Lily, did you have anything you wanted to add to that before we go into the Stephen Greer stuff? No?
No, something that could just kind of pops in my head. Yeah, like the psyops within psyops, certain things just kind of coming up. And didn't Q say something about like how some disinformation is necessary or whatever, or some
Yeah.
psyops necessary?
Yeah, Q said disinformation is necessary. Meaning on a surface level, you're gonna hear things that also sound and look bad on a surface level because there's something deeper going on. So it's like
Right.
it's this game being played.
Yeah.
Is Lily secretly Joe Biden? No, but
Maybe.
one of the big conspiracy theories going around now is that Melania has always been Q.
Right.
That like,
Hey,
I
I wouldn't
mean,
doubt it.
That's the
I wouldn't doubt
first
it.
that's the first person that's ever been suspected that I actually could get behind.
Right,
Like,
right. Every other one, I'm like,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
like,
right.
I actually like could see that. Like,
I could totally see that.
but
That being said,
we don't know.
I don't.
and Ian
Right. I have
Carroll
no.
was the one. Ian Carroll was the one who said that, right? On
Yeah,
X.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly
Oh,
enough, I
wow.
was completely
Shocking.
surprised to see him. He's like a conspiracy theory today. Melania is Q and always has been Q.
Yeah.
And like he has hundreds of thousands of followers. So that puts that into
That's
that
huge.
plants that seed in
Oh,
the
yeah.
collective.
Right.
Right.
I want to
Um,
add something on that real quick. So like, well, it's like I've gotten a lot of messages about the masks coming off. The
Right.
dark masks are coming off, but also the white hat masks are coming off too. And
And
I
what
feel like
what
the
do you mean
state
by that? The
like it's like safe to come forward, and like Melania would be a prime example. She's been undercover for years
right.
and she looked a certain way. Maybe she was playing naive, but I don't know. They said like she is aware of everything now. At least now she is. And just the shift in her energy, it's like she was like giving a nod. Maybe she is cute or she's
Oh,
involved in some way. But I don't know. That night I was seeing her literally all night. I was seeing visions of her all night and I was like, what? They're like they were saying like there's more to this, there's more to her. And yeah, and then the next day the she is cute thing. And I'm like,
Interesting.
right.
yeah.
I'm gonna actually play this clip really quick because I don't know why I just love it.
I just love how she's standing there all
Yeah, let me share my screen again.
badass.
All right. Hopefully the audio plays on this.
Yeah, she is an ET. She's Pleiadian.
I
Right. That's what.
yeah, I love it. But I mean, come on, like the energy though behind her. I kind of love that.
So awesome.
Me too.
Oh, hang on. Pause that. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, but look at, I mean, seriously, like literal fuck around and find out. Like she is not there, like engaging, or like she's not there for the party, is what I'm trying to say. Like
Right.
she is there to like this
On
is war.
mission.
Like this is war,
Yeah.
and I kind of love it.
Deep state funeral.
Yeah.
Well,
deep
there
state funeral.
honestly too,
Yeah.
like she's dressed like she's at a funeral, a deep state funeral. It's a good.
Yeah, that's what Mark said in the chat, and I feel that.
Oh yeah.
I feel that
Um,
energy.
Yeah, right.
Funeral for the deep state. 100%.
Okay, so she's almost as badass as Dr. Jill. Right. Yeah, right.
I hope that was a joke.
So Culania. That guy stuttered his way through the whole presentation. Definitely Trump spotlighted him. I don't know who he's talking about.
The career, the Yeah, the Korea video where he said the alliance.
Oh, right.
The guy with us talking to like stutter a lot.
Right. Um, okay, so let's transition into the Stephen Greer stuff. So first, Don Jr. actually came out and did a podcast, an episode, like kind of like a preliminary thing to the Stephen Greer podcast. And they were just talking about all the disclosures to expect over the coming months. We also recently interviewed Dan Cooper, who said Stephen Greer would be releasing whistleblower evidence of some of these technologies, right? And these ETs and all that stuff. So that's what we got. I know everybody like has their opinions about Greer, and so do we. Like he constantly like he perpetuates the there are no bad ETs
Negative ETs.
narrative, no
Yeah.
negative ETs narrative so much. Like he sounds like a broken record. And to me, I'm like, dude, this guy's like bought and paid for at this point.
And he tries to say, like, he also tries to say every single alien abduction is a secret military human thing, and especially like any of them that are like anything negative all happens, it's all human, and that is not true at all.
So,
But he's convinced. You can tell, like, I think he fully believes what he's saying. It's not like he's intentionally lying. I think he's
being used.
He's being used. He's being fed disinformation that he is 100% believing, and then he thinks
let's
that's true.
paint the picture for those who don't know, because I've watched the first 3 episodes of his podcast, and there was some amazing information and some stuff where I got literally pissed off because I could tell he was just parroting what he was told or paid to say, or he literally has just been fed that line so many times he's been programmed to believe that.
Yeah.
And he literally thinks that he is the guy. He is
Yeah.
the authority on any and all UFO disclosure, free energy technology, literally everything. And he says on a number of times, trust me, I would know. I've been
Yeah.
there. I've talked to these people. I've briefed them. But come on, you are a doctor. You literally got propped up into this position. You've been literally played like a puppet for decades now and groomed
Yeah.
into this position for this very moment. And he is clearly being sadly misinformed, and they're leaving a large number of the equation out of it.
Well, and it's not black and white, because that
Yeah.
all that being said, he is spot on right about a whole lot of
Yeah,
stuff, and he is doing a lot of great work with a whole lot of information as well. His documentaries are amazing, I'm always saying, which especially for intro level stuff for people that are just getting into these topics, he is a great, and his documentaries and even his books are a great gateway intro level kind of like
Mhm.
into all of this information. But then you got to move past it, like a lot of things. But then there's the disinfo mixed in with the good stuff that people end up, oh well, Stephen Greer says this, so that must be true, and they don't really look any further, right? And that's kind of the whole point of disinfo. They want you to just buy into it and throw you off, there's always an agenda at play for very strategic disinfo, right? So I think they kind of like I think organically, he claims he's had his childhood ET experiences with positive ETs. I truly believe that that's real, and I think he organically came to this information and this all things ET and disclosure himself, started doing good work, and then they kind of like saw him as like, oh, we're gonna like target this guy and try to manipulate him subtly to get him to believe certain things and
Right.
prop him up
Well, Mark,
as like the guy, and his narrative is the narrative.
so
And
Mark,
unbeknownst to him, that the deep state, the very deep state he thinks he's exposing, which he is, he's also being played by as well. And this is a very, very common thing that I see with a lot of very egotistical kind of people in the disclosure movement, that like, oh, if this were true, I would know, and I know the truth because my sources tell me this. And it's like very ego, right? They think they know everything. They don't realize how compartmentalized and how many psyops and disinfo and all this stuff that they're a victim to themselves, and they don't even realize it.
yeah, exactly.
But everyone else, oh, they're being played and being, but not me. I know that,
And he
there's a lot of that
referred
going
he
on.
referred to like podcasts like ours, not us in
He
particular.
puts down a lot of stuff like
He referred
yeah.
to like the UFO community being the tabloid podcast,
Oh,
and
yeah.
his podcast. He goes. The reason I'm starting this podcast is because I am going to be the authority and tell you guys what is true and what is disinfo right off the bat. Any self-appointed expert
Self-appointed ultimate authority
is
on an entire field, like
right.
massive red flag
Yeah.
anytime you see
And
it.
then he started, you can tell he's programmed because he was triggering himself. He would get madder and madder. In episode 3, he was talking about people getting like radiation burns and stuff from UFOs and stuff. He's like, if you've gotten, he goes, no person, no human on this planet has ever gotten a radiation burn from a UFO. That is bullshit. He was like, he goes, ETs don't use that technology. That is human technology.
Some do.
Yeah. He said that is human technology, and I can prove it, and I know, but so
I know you see
yeah.
that over and over again.
yeah, and so but I'm like, dude, you're literally like being paraded around, and like
yeah, you're getting all the big shows, you're getting propped up,
but they're making him
right? They're
feel
not,
special by
right.
allowing him to,
right.
they're allowing him to brief like the head of the Central Intelligence Agency.
Right. They're letting you do that.
And every new administration, every time there's a transfer of power, he briefs the new administration. Why him? They're literally just playing into his ego, making him feel like, oh, listen, like, you know, the whole scope. He literally believes he knows the whole picture.
Right.
And there's nothing that he's missing.
Right.
And he like,
which is a classic thing. I was talking about, like,
right.
people with a massive ego, they think they have the whole picture. If something else were true, they would know. So the fact that they don't already believe it or know about it means it can't possibly be true. And it's funny because they'll literally say things that contradict like themselves.
Yeah, he does that.
And they're like a victim of the very things they even call out, and they don't even realize it. And I've seen this with so many people that are like these big name disclosure people in the community. And it just makes me laugh, you know. But that being said, again, I would say at least 80% of what he says is spot on true.
Yeah.
It's very, very good information. And he is calling out, like you said, the slave trade and trafficking. And
so the one thing,
space program.
the reason I'm even sharing those interviews on our Patreon and all this stuff is because, so there is I would say 80% of it that's really good disclosure. And what I like about it is he talks about the politics of the military industrial complex and the private sector and the 3-layer agencies.
Yeah.
And how this is so compartmentalized that the people that enter these organizations don't even know that they're operating in a criminal organization until it's too late.
Right.
And then they've moved so high up the ladder that they've been essentially bought and paid for at that point. By the time that they realize that they're participating in something illegal, they're trapped.
They're trapped.
And
too late.
He said these are the guys that want to defect and come and talk, but this is what we need the whistleblower protection for. So I get that side of it, but then he talks about how convoluted it is and how there's like it really is. So he's not wrong when he says it's humans doing all this stuff, because we have weaponized everything.
Because so much of it is.
Yeah.
So much of it is, but he thinks everything negative is all
Right.
you, and that is not at all the
Right.
case. Yeah.
So and you got to think too, like that's the dark would absolutely love for us to believe that it's just the humans are the problem and that's it.
Yeah. And
Right.
well, and it's so like
Degrading.
degrading. Yeah. Thank you. Of humanity. It's like this self-degrading, we're the only bad in the entire galaxy, in the entire universe, everything else. Well, and I've seen him make the argument of like, well, if they were a lower consciousness or negative, they would never make it here because they would destroy themselves before they ever got. Those civilizations destroy themselves before they ever got off planet. Well, that's one thing that happens, but no, that's not true because there are many negatively oriented races that do make it off planet and do travel around and are here, and you know. There's a lot more going on than he is aware of, but he thinks he knows the full picture, and
there's a lot of
there's
a lot of good in like what he's saying. I said
there's a lot of good. That's why take the good, leave the rest. But it's up to you.
But what I like, I'll catch him. He'll literally say that we've literally been off. We have craft that go off planet. We've been going off planet since the 40s. And who knows what he's hinted at very much of a secret space program a couple of times, which I thought was cool that he would even hint at that.
Right.
But he was like, he goes, no UFOs are crashing. We're shooting them all down.
Not true.
And he said, and then the guy asked,
that is happening.
The guy asked in the interview, he's like, well, if they're so advanced, like you say, then why are they, why is our technology able to take them down? Like, you think that they would be able to see that coming, right? And he was like, oh, well, they're no different than us. They make mistakes too. And that was his answer. So, but he's literally saying, so we have weapons that can destroy entire planets, and we have weaponized the solar system. So he believes that we've done that. Why? But it's out of the realm of possibility for another race. to
Right,
have done
right.
that.
Which makes
Yeah,
zero
like,
sense.
oh, so we're the
Right.
only person in the entire existence of the universe that has ever thought
Like,
of weaponizing space.
yeah, which is it's funny to me that it's like he's so worried that we're gonna take our evil out to space, but like no other race has ever in the history of the universe done that.
Considered it.
We're gonna be the first to ever be successful with that. Like, does that make any sense? No,
Right.
of course not. Duality exists throughout the entire universe. Of course, there's many other races that have already many long time ago done that. And yeah, there's duality here too. And yes, that is one thing that is happening, but there's like, it's funny
So-
that he has this very narrow one-dimensional view that he's convinced is
But he
right.
paints a beautiful picture of the politics.
But at
and
the same time,
he,
yes.
Lily's laughing. He paints a beautiful picture of the politics of the UFO arena and the military industrial complex and the alphabet agencies. So
Right.
watch his interviews and
Right.
podcasts for that. Lily, what do you want to say?
I'm just laughing. Y'all just going back and forth.
Yeah. Sorry, it's
No, it's
whenever
funny.
somebody is a big name and then there's like this massive ego that like they're like, I am right and this is the truth, and you like, it's just, and it's so wrong. It just gets me. It just
Yeah,
gets me
no,
sometimes, you know.
Somebody put in the comments, JC, you can tell they love this shit. They vibing. And you
Oh
guys,
yeah.
were straight
Um,
Oh,
vibing.
yeah.
Just
We vibing.
So, I mean, Lily, I mean, do you have any opinions on Greer? Or do you even pay attention to that?
So I haven't paid attention to him in quite a while, but interestingly enough, I've gotten messages about him from the Alliance twice over the last 4 days. And I haven't even watched the podcast. I'd forgot about this, but looking at what I got, I think the night before last, they mentioned his name and they said, then I saw like an ET in a physical body. I think some sort of like physical body evidence is going to come up. And then they said that he's going to help usher in some important disclosure evidence in the coming, like, could be weeks or months. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I think that he serves a purpose, and
Right.
people, I'll say this also, people are gonna freak the fuck out, and maybe they would have just tuned him out if he was talking about negative ETs controlling the planet. Like the regular people are gonna freak out whenever they find out about that.
Right.
So I can understand how it
That's a-
ultimately also serves like a drip disclosure type.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand that, but it's like he could just not talk about it, but instead he
Yeah.
has to like rail hard saying there's definitely no negative, and he goes so hard on that it's like, wait, no,
I get
like
it.
he
Yeah.
fully believes that clearly, but
Yeah, I
So-
get it.
he
You're
could just
passionate
not
about
talk
it.
about it and have the same thing of like not freaking people out but instead
Yeah.
he goes hard
He
against
does.
it.
He did mention he was questioned about that heart. I found this interesting. This was sometime in the last year or whatever. He was getting criticized a lot for the no negative ET thing, and he was on some podcast or something, and he did say that, me just being observer finding this interesting, not saying really anything about it, but he said he does believe that there are negative entities, other dimensional, interdimensional entities that are dark, just not but they're not from outer space. So I thought that was interesting that he said that, and that was kind of like his
Yeah,
take on it.
he contradicts himself
Well-
with that and so many things. That's the problem.
Either way, I like Lily's point that he's serving a purpose, and
He's
if
serving a
if
purpose.
he were saying that the negative were controlling the planet, obviously it wouldn't reach the mainstream. So, what he's saying now, like, it can like appeal to a larger audience, and I
Right.
do think that there are going to be some important disclosures. But Stephen Greer, like something he said that I agree with. He's like, by the way, what is going to come out over the next few months isn't disclosure. He said it's just evidence. He goes, they're not going to tell you what's really going on. So like
Oh.
he says good things and then he says like, so
Right.
yeah.
But no,
Wow.
he's serving a purpose, and disclosure. It's all going to come out regardless of whether it doesn't even it doesn't even matter. Like,
I'm super stoked
truth
that
is
he's
coming out
mentioning the trafficking thing. Like, that's
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
important.
super important. That is
trafficking
huge.
and
Yeah.
weapons that can destroy entire planets.
Death Star.
Teleporting. He's disclosing teleporting. He's like, we can absolutely teleport. And he didn't say time travel, but that comes right with the territory. So there's things like there's technologies that he's mentioning that I'm like kind of really shocked that are in these things. It's such a weird thing. It is such a, I think, what did Mark say earlier? He's like, it's a typical playbook, like give you like all this great info littered with just a little bit of
Yeah.
disinformation.
90% truth
Yeah.
and great stuff, 10% disinfo, bad stuff.
Right.
Classic, right?
Discernment.
Discernment, which is why it's discernment is so critical.
Do I have
right?
anything else in my notes that we didn't cover?
Stepping stone.
Oh yeah, so this is another thing too that I found interesting. We're going back to the inauguration and Trump and Melania shielding him, right? Something that Q said 3 different times in a few different Q drops was POTUS is 100% insulated, meaning protected, right? So it's interesting. This is something else
Yeah.
to remind ourselves, like that was like a perfect example of him being insulated.
Right.
What are my notes?
Putting in some work.
Elon is not Hitler. That's on my that's on
Very
my
technical.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barron and Melania understood the mission. This was not a game for them. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, we covered everything I had in my notes. Is there anything that you've been receiving, Lily, that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I guess I got this the night before. Just a few things like I was getting like liberty, historic change, tipping the scales. I saw like the scales of justice and also like the, the light and dark, a balance becoming more balanced or whatever.
Yeah.
Taking back, curse removal was another word, phrase that I got.
Curse
and then-
removal?
yeah, curse removal.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they mentioned the Stephen Greer thing and evidence coming in the coming weeks and months. That's going to be really important. Merkaba light bodies activating. And then I was hearing adrenochrome evidence, underground bases. And then I saw Trump and I heard executive orders going on and shutting down these farms. And my labs, I heard my labs experiments. And then I heard course correcting. Their infrastructure, the cabal, is failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the latest
100%.
updates.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
agree.
It's very obvious.
I agree with
to
all
those
that.
of us with eyes and feet.
I was about to say it's not obvious.
It's not obvious to everyone, but
Right.
those of us that know all this information, it's clear as day that their whole system is collapsing in real time.
I agree.
Right now.
There's a
So-
lot going on
So
underground.
there's a lot going on.
Someone said,
And-
a Jewel of Aquarius said, let's have a Greer Ike debate. So yeah, that
well, he's got his own stuff. I mean, both of them.
yeah.
have
So
their own.
Ike doesn't, he's a perpetual doomer. I mean,
Right. He
unfortunately,
hates Trump. He thinks Trump's just a part of the deep state. And
he thinks
Elon is too.
in his own, an exact quote, he thinks Q is Bullock.
He thinks,
Yeah.
right.
He thinks there is no positive operation whatsoever.
Again, the same ego thing, just in a different form. I'm right. I know for sure. Otherwise, I would know.
Right.
I know, they have their logic behind it too. Like he has his, and it makes sense on a certain level, but you got to get deeper
Yep.
to perceive the truth. You got to get deeper.
So, yeah, I mean, I find it interesting too. I don't think it's any coincidence. Like I said earlier, Dan Cooper Reel is the one that went viral talking about the deep state negotiating a surrender, which is something that sounds impossible, but I really do believe we're at a moment in history where that is occurring, a transition of power. And I find it interesting that it's the thing, another part of that clip is where he talks about that the deep state owns 26 planets and has 96 or has 200 embassies all throughout the galaxy. And so it's like in the same clip as him talking about that. So I was like, what a red pill for that. I mean,
right.
So, and like, yeah, we can't prove what Dan said either, but I mean, we understand that there are off-world breakaway civilizations and colonies out there,
Gets
and
people thinking about that.
yeah.
Stuff at
So
the very
I'm like,
least.
this is amazing. Like that seed has just now been planted in the 220,000 people that Reel has reached. not only that we're negotiating a surrender, but there is an actual like ownership of the planet, and this is a galactic war. It's just like out there now in the collective. Not that it hasn't been, but that reel in particular, I think, was divinely guided. So that like, all right, let's just get this ball rolling, trigger whoever we need to trigger, let them just handle it, deal with it, and not even respond to the comments because that's just like taking the bait, right?
Right.
And
Right.
going into
You're
those lower frequencies.
you're bringing yourself down to that energetic level when you choose to respond to those types of comments.
Right,
Connect on that. Yeah.
right. Somebody said Dan Cooper question mark. Yeah, we just it's a recent previous episode getting ready for our Canada merger.
Right. 51st state, baby.
Right.
The what merger?
It's a
Canada.
Canada.
Trump's saying Canada's going to become the 51st state of the U.S., which is amazing. I hope that happens. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Canadians that don't want that to happen, but
anyway,
I think that would solve a lot of issues really quickly with Canada and things going on with them.
well, if things really start shifting the way we think they're going to shift, and things like start to lighten up, and people feel like they can breathe again,
Right.
they're not gonna be so triggered about changes
Oh,
like
this is
that.
a
Like
good thing.
they're like, oh wait, I don't have to pay taxes anymore on all this stuff. I don't have to do this. Like, oh, I can
Oh, we're
afford.
not a full-on communist.
Yeah, I don't have to
dictatorship
I can
anymore.
afford groceries
I
now.
can, right, exactly. Like my country's not being actively destroyed, and these agendas aren't
right.
anymore. Wow.
Gulf of America, yeah. So
Gulf of
yeah,
America.
and people are like, why Canada? Why Greenland? According to like Gene Decode,
There's deeper stuff.
he said there's a lot of advanced technologies in Greenland as far as like UFO, ET tech, I guess.
Yeah.
Artifacts, Stargate,
Artifacts.
maybe.
Think like Antarctica
Arc.
style things going on in Greenland.
Yeah, probably exactly
Right.
that. Yeah. And also inner Earth entrances.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gene Decode said that there's pyramids in Canada that are also very interesting that we should look out for in some mountainous region. I forgot what he said, but he said also those are inner Earth entrances as well. So there's a deeper layer to this. Like the inner Earth societies are also part of this negotiation. We forget about that. And the galactic societies as well. So there is a major unification and deals being made and people being pushed out that are no longer frequency specific. We were under Orion rule for so long, and we are a free will planet. They got away with it for far too long, and their satanic system is no longer, like I said, frequency specific to our planet. So they're being pushed out back to the Orion system where they can do whatever the hell they want, but it has no place here anymore because we're ascending, and essentially. What's that?
Fun times.
Somebody said, Lily, did you figure out what the message was the other day about Trump and the guns? Could that have been his protection? He's protected?
Yeah, I think so whenever I got that, like I wasn't 100% sure if it was symbolic or literal. Well, they showed me him surrounded by guns. Interestingly enough, like the next day, like a meme was going around of a bunch of guns pointing at him. Not a meme, but that picture that you shared
Yeah,
with me.
it's a meme, yeah.
And I feel like it meant like there was a bunch of people trying to take him down. Obviously the inauguration went smooth. I think there was a lot of things that went into place to especially Melania, and then everybody's kind of prayers and protections, I think. And then moving it indoors too. But in that vision, after I received the vision of a bunch of guns pointing at him, I saw a gun was disarmed and then handed over. And then I heard it's like everything's like divinely orchestrated. So it was like a disarming type thing.
Well, and it could just be symbolic that like he's under fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
I think it's symbolic of that, and that he's protected as well, divinely.
Yeah. Right. And they were saying it's all a show, it's all a show. And you're getting like he's under fire right now from a lot of stuff.
He's always, I think, at least since 2016, he's nonstop they've been trying to take it. They would have taken him out a long time ago if they could have, right?
Yeah.
Like, duh, he clearly
There's a lot of
being
people
divinely protected.
Right. And there's a lot of people with the, I guess the Vex thing and AI thing or whatever. There's a lot of people who supported him or who are kind of like turning on him and
Right.
going after him and stuff too. So I think it
Right,
was really
right.
like a very like symbolic thing and also probably like a little bit literal. But
Right. Right.
there's been a lot of attempts on his life, I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah, he's very protected. But yeah, under a lot of fire. I like that. That's a good phrase to say.
So I'm gonna check
Yep.
something here real quick. I checked the other day because I heard it was the case. But somebody said, "Oh, it's back now." Okay, so it's interesting. Um, Washington, D.C. on Google Earth literally only said Washington. The D.C. was gone,
It's back
Really?
and
now.
now it's back. Yeah,
Now it's back.
Did you
I
take a
took a.
screenshot?
I think I did. Yeah, I have it somewhere. But yeah, it was gone. I had to go check myself because I saw it going around the internet. I'm like, let me see. I'm like, oh shit, it's literally not
And
Washington.
they wouldn't just change that for no reason.
But it's
Just-
back
yeah,
now, which I found interesting.
that is interesting though.
What were we just talking about? I was gonna check something else on Google
The
Earth too.
attempt or him being under fire with what's going on.
Yeah, but I just got on Google Earth to look at something else. Oh, I want to see if they
Greenland?
no, if they changed it to the Gulf of America yet.
Oh, I hope so. That would be
Mm.
amazing. I highly doubt it.
Hey, he said as of today.
No, did he?
Come on. This is like so clunky to have to do this like this. Mm-mm. Nope, still
No.
says the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Dang, Google Earth, it just hasn't updated yet, that's all.
Right.
Um, okay, well,
So the DC is back though?
yeah, it's back. I swear I looked the other day and I was like, oh shit, it's gone. But
I know, I saw that.
um, okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping this
Oh,
up.
wait. Did we ever talk
Okay.
about why he didn't put his hand on the Bible? Why Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible? Did we mention
I
that?
briefly did.
Okay.
I
Talk
think
about
it,
that.
what?
I think you should talk about that.
Okay, so I mean, I did a
'Cause
video.
that was a big thing that people
Yeah.
were worried about.
I did a video the other day of yesterday, just of my opinion on this, and it kind of actually took off too. It's making its rounds, but
Mhm.
basically,
Burn the pot.
right,
Yeah,
stir in the
stir
pot.
in the pot.
So if the inauguration is held at 12:01 at the same place at the same time on the same day every year, uh, in Washington, D.C. And I think that's for a specific reason, and it has to do with the astrological alignment at that time, but it's also a part of ritual magic, satanic ritual every year that our reptilian presidents were sworn in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it had very much to do with the inverted reality, why the Statue of Liberty is chained up. You know, it's not the America that we actually thought we were living in, right? So I think that by moving the inauguration indoors away from the Washington Monument, which is an obelisk, which is used for harvesting energy and
Mhm.
easily
Yep.
that can be used in a ritual, along with the entire layout of DC. I'm sure.
That's why there's the giant pool of water in front of that is a technology.
Right.
They have to have the water to make it work. It's a
So-
technology.
So I would argue that the White Hats maybe even manipulated the weather. A cold front comes through. They have a perfect excuse to get away from the obelisk, also insulate POTUS, bring it indoors,
Mhm.
and then by him not putting his hand on the Bible, he breaks the circuit of the traditional ritual and did not allow it to commence.
Yep.
And basically swore in under an entirely new republic that wasn't the corporation that we've been doing this inauguration ritualistically to every year. So I think that might be why. That's the theory.
Another one people said is that he never stopped being president because Biden was illegitimately sworn. He was never officially
He never won
the real
because
president in the first place.
it
He
was
didn't win.
rigged. Yeah, it was rigged.
So
Yeah.
why would Trump have to swear in when he's been the president the whole time, kind of thing? Again, doesn't. I think there's multiple things like that going on with it. I think it's more than just one thing.
Right. Yeah. So if he never left, then he didn't have to be sworn in.
Or people are
anyway,
saying he swore in
privately.
before that privately, and then that's like the cabal ceremony that he's not going to swear in, like
Right.
the corporation, like you said.
Right.
So why would he do it there, you know.
Right.
That resonates a
So
lot.
he's not putting his hand on the Bible because he's not.
So
yeah.
while we have everybody here, I want to make a few announcements. Our conference, if anybody wants to come to a badass disclosure conference, we hold one every year in Grafton, Illinois. Lily is going to be a speaker for the first time. It is May 12th through the 15th. All the tickets and information can be found at journeytotruth.online. It's like I said in Grafton, Illinois. It's a blast. I know Illinois doesn't sound that appealing, but trust me, it's a beautiful venue. It's kind of like
Yeah.
off the beaten path. It's near the river.
It's a hidden gem
It's a
in Illinois.
And
there's-
Cahokia Mountain.
Cahokia is close by. We go there afterwards.
yeah. So tickets are selling. So take advantage of it, guys. This is going to be our last year in Grafton for a while too. So if you've been wanting to come and you haven't got a chance to check out Grafton, it's going to be a blast. We have a great lineup this year. We're super excited about it. And, tickets we try to make them as affordable as possible right now for everybody. There's 1-day passes, there's live stream passes if you can't make it in person. And yes, the live stream pass comes with a replay. And there's meal plans if you guys want to do that. And we just have fun. We do, there's speakers, there's going to be workshops this year. We're changing up the schedule a little bit. Every night we do sky watches and bonfires. We go on hikes, looking for Bigfoot. I mean, it's just a blast. It's not just your standard hotel conference. It's more of like a vacation conference, I would say.
Yeah, very much so.
And
Real quick, there's a comment. Somebody said JFK didn't put his hand on the Bible either. If that's true, I didn't even know that was true. Then there's something maybe more to that we don't even realize.
yeah, actually, I just screenshotted. That reminded me of a Q drop I screenshotted earlier that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot to. Let me find it.
Somebody said JFK was the last president that did not put his hand on the Bible until
Wow.
Right.
obviously now with Trump.
So this is a Q drop from February 19th, 2019. Insider versus outsider. Retain control versus lose control. Kennedy was an outsider, assassinated. Reagan was an outsider, assassination attempt. POTUS is an outsider. And this was in 2019 before they attempted to assassinate him.
Right.
How much money, cash, was sent by the Fed to Iraq war? And it just left a question for people to dig. But just to remind people, like that, what they said about Kennedy, he was an outsider, so they killed him. He was like, "Well, we can't run the system like this. You guys are nuts."
And he
like,
was doing, and when you look at the things he was trying to do and the things he was saying, it's obvious that it's obvious that they wanted to take him out. He was like trying to take down all their stuff,
right.
and they're like, "Oh nope, can't have that."
Oh, also,
They take him out, put in LBJ, and who's a super deep state stooge, and he just undoes everything Kennedy does immediately, and it was obvious.
so also, if anybody knows who Mary Beaver is, she's doing her own tour where she's disclosing a bunch of declassified documents, essentially about what she was shown in the military and given permission to release. And she's calling it the Matrix Rehab Tour, opening the green door. And it is going to be February 23rd in Folsom, California. I'm actually going to be hosting that event. It's just 1 day, 6 hours of disclosure. She's going to be talking about like 200 different ET species that she's been briefed on and where they're from. She's going to be talking about the deep underground military bases and which ones have stargates and where the stargates go, looking glass probabilities and predictions, a number of disclosures, and it's going to be pretty amazing. So you can grab a ticket. 1 day passes are only $50, and live stream passes right now are $15 until I think the early bird ends on like February 2nd or something. So those links are below in the description as well. If you want to come hang out, it's just it's a 1 day hit if you're in the area. I think Lily, you're going to be there. I don't know what you're going to have going on, but
What's the date again?
February 23rd. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be tough. There's a chance.
Right.
There's a chance, maybe.
But yeah, so we have Chris, the same guy who does our conference. Him and I are going out there, and he's going to live stream that event, and we're going to just kind of host it and help her. This is her first time doing it. She doesn't know what she's doing, so we're just helping her pull it off, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So that's February, and then in May, come hang out with us in Grafton, journeytotruth.online. Make sure you follow us on X and Instagram, Telegram, Facebook. We're Telegram and Facebook. We're not super active there as far as the podcast goes, but X and Instagram.
Threads now, that new.
Yeah, well,
it's
Threads
kinda
is
just
like
a
Instagram. Yeah.
right, right.
So anyway, make sure to follow us everywhere you can and go to our website, subscribe to our email newsletter. And I think that's it. Lily, did you have anything you wanted to announce before we close shop?
I don't think I have any announcements, but give me a follow too.
Right.
Yeah, everyone follow Lily also.
Yeah, I've got Rumble. I just started posting on Rumble again. I think it's just Lily Nova. And then YouTube, I'm very active on Lily Nova Starseed. I just made an X account recently. Lily Nova 1111 is my handle on there. And Instagram, I want to rebuild my Instagram because that was taken down a while back and that pissed me off. So I kind of stopped using it for a bit, but now I'm starting to be more active on there. My name on there is lilynova.official.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Cool. We'll go give
Great
Lily a
combo.
follow. What's that?
It's a great conversation.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for
But
joining us
thank you.
tonight. This is all last minute. Like I said, we had a cancellation, so none of this was actually planned until this morning. So we're glad you guys could tune in. Thank you for all the love and support. We can't do this
Yes.
without you. We hope to see you at the conference. And yeah, have a great
Golden
evening.
Age.
Golden
Golden
Age.
Age.
Have a great
Team light.
evening as we
Team Light.
usher in the Golden Age.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. We love you.
Well, I gotta end it first. Hang on. I have to end it in two different places.